Hi ladies and gentlemen, it is so fantastic to see you, and if you have arrived at this video, it's a rough bit of business for you, at least I think. Also, how cold is it, Razor, that you're still breathing fog, or moisture, whatever. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, if you found this video, you need food. Specifically, meat, a little bit of eggs, and even more meat that can be converted into actual meat. It's a little all over the place. Now, if you have arrived at this place, you probably don't have a healer, or you really like going a full offensive build, maybe a Venti, maybe a DPS, and a support, and then even another DPS. There are characters going to come down the line that really support you having weirdly 2 DPSs. Anyways, spoiler alert on the upcoming characters, but or maybe you just use up all your food for the damage buffs and all that kind of stuff, and one of the staple components of food is, of course, meat. Now, of course, I'm dragging, that's my bad, sorry, but I was in a place where I basically had no healers because I just didn't have any really good healers. I had Barbara, but people kept telling me that she was not that great. I'm sure that she could be great, but anyways, needless to say, I got Zhongli and just basically went with the shield build, made him max shield, gave him everything you could possibly have for shield. But every once in a while, a lot of the times it's abyss mages, will crack the shield and absolutely smash you. So, when it comes to that, I needed food. And this is all of the findings that I have from my food route, but this is made so much easier with the new update that introduced Dragonspine. It's a brand new region that's freezing, has a weird climate thing where you just gotta stay hot, but there is this one beast that they put in the game called the Boar King, I think is what his name is, and he basically gives you a crazy amount of different meat. It's not the same meat that is used in almost every foundation of any healing recipe. Also, feel free to buy a lot of the recipes from her and the restaurant at Leeway because they're dirt cheap and they can offer some value to you. This is the one that I find is incredibly cheap to make, and it also gives you a great bang for your buck. This one's a little weird because you actually need to make jam, and then you start burning into your other resources, such as your apples and stuff like that. So I just prefer the one that's a little bit less good but still great. Yeah, if that makes any sense. This one you get, I think, from just, again, buying it from her store. Anywho, all it takes is raw meats and, of course, that nut resource, which, by the way, another thing that you should do every single day is your expeditions. This is another way that can get you meat and food constantly. And you don't really need to take away the mining of rocks either. You just have to have a certain amount of adventure rank. That will get you the expedition limit up to 5, pretty crazy. And yeah, see, like right there, I can get anywhere from 8 to 12 of both of those types of food, which of course can help me craft a bunch of food. Now, of course, I still have my rock expeditions going, and of course for Leeway, I believe I do have them going for those pebbles. Yes, see, like right here, I get 8 to 12. So with just those two, with just these 2 expeditions of this expedition, sorry, and this one, I'm getting basically that food made by a ton, and that can happen every day. And of course, it's anywhere from 8 to 12 that I can get. So that I can make a ton of this specific healing item that can constantly keep me topped off. Absolutely lovely. Definitely get this. I'm almost certain this is gotten from just the basic person over here, just buy the recipes off her. Again, it's really cheap. If you do like 1 high-level Leylands that gets you cash, you could buy everything and still have a lot left over. Now, of course, there are other things that you could make, but a lot of the foundations of those things, of course, are meat. Now, of course, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is there's people like this in every city that gives you a ton of other resources. So if you like a specific food that gives you damage or whatever, it's as simple as going here, finding what you need, buying all of the resources, respawns every 11 hours. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner. So buy that if you want. Of course, one more thing to cover when it comes to making food is there are various characters that you can actually cook with that give you buffs. Those buffs can be more of the same resource, or it can be a better version of whatever you're cooking. So if we made a bunch of these, I want to select character. There are going to be characters that I have that actually can make this better. For instance, Barbara is better. Everyone should have the ability to basically get more product because Barbara is allotted to you at adventure rank 20, so that's super easy, and you can get them get more out of your healing items like that. Not only that, but just another thing to throw away, if you get Mondstadt's reputation very high leveled up, you can have something called a ration pouch, which basically every time you hold down this and you hit a button, you will be able to instantly deploy your healings or your rations. And you can just spam that until your character, of course, is full. Anyways, so with all that being said, how the hell do you farm meat? Well, first of all, we're going to go through like the bare minimum of something that you should do every single day, and then we'll move on to the tedium at the end of the video if you're still in need of this. But, of course, as always, I'll be suffering alongside you guys. I'm not going to just be telling you where to go, cut it all out. We're going to go through it. But I could actually do a quick synopsis of just in case you don't want to hear me ramble and you just want to mark shit on your map and go do it, and it's pretty easy in that regard. Perfect. So first things first, mark this on your map. Boom. In fact, mark all of the food items I have on my map. So Dragonspine, the center of it's right here. Mark all of the little tiny meat icons on your map that are on my map. Pause the video, do all that. Perfect. The main one that you're going to want to do though, if you have no time in the day, you can only spare like maybe a minute, go here. This gives you 10 meat for doing a quick fight. In fact, it gives you way more than 10 meat. We'll count. But this whole realm right here, this one, give you a monstrous amount of food, or specifically raw meat. And I really hope later down the line they give us a recipe that actually makes use of this high quality meat. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump and do this. This is the first one that you should absolutely do. And again, this is like the bare minimum. The other thing, again, just in case you want to not watch this video and absolutely skip by, totally cool, by the way. But that is such a good amount of bang for your buck that you can do every day. The other thing that you can do every single day that is super, super worth it is this. Springvale. Springvale, if it is daytime, right around here, this where like it outlooks the pond, you're gonna want to talk to Daff. We're gonna do this just in case you're confused. You're gonna want to talk to Daff, buy all of the food that he has on him. It is super cheap. Like you can do one of these ley lenses, wherever they are. They give you 50,000 Mora, and you'll be able to buy from him for like 5 weeks in a row or something crazy. You'll be fine. Also, you get more from doing your weekly Mondstadt bounties. You get money. It's fine. You'll be okay. Anyways, but that's the other good bang for your buck, because you can get 10 of every type of food every single day. Now, by the way, boars respawn every single day. So you can actually do that if you desire. Actually, I would like to check something that I'm almost certain is not the case in the game, but I wonder if it respawns more than once a day. I mean, I'm not sure. I wouldn't think it would do this. But anyway, sorry, this is one. I'm basically wondering if you can log out, log back in, and that will give you, like it'll make the beast respawn. I don't think it's going to be the case, but yeah. Also, we got 2 from there. 1, 2. Also, you should heal, warm up before you go and do this fight. It's pretty fast. Also, you need a fire character in order to actually do this, so hopefully you have some fire character. Even if it's Amber, that works totally fine. Pop this. Wait a minute. Melee. And then we got another 2. This will always give you 2 of this specific thing called chilled meat. Now this is a building block. Oh no! Oh no! This is a building block for gumbo. It stops you from getting cold too quickly. Pretty cool. God, I'm bad with that timing. The good thing is I don't think these things actually despawn like the other cows. Anyways, you're going to want to prep this bastard for coming and wrecking your day. So you'll have to fight for this. I should have mentioned that. So if you're not very leveled up, this actually can be a pretty weird fight. One thing to consider though is this person is actually a pain in the ass to actually fight if you happen to have. If you happen to let the fight go on too long. It's one of those fights that gets harder as it goes. Do this. Solid bit of damage. Activate my rage, and we should be locking this up. Boom. So, when he falls, he will drop an excessive amount of food. So I don't know how much that was. 1, 2. Me in the video, do math. 1, 2, 3. Whatever. I don't know. I think it's like 10. 10 or 8. It's okay. We don't need to do the exact math. But basically, with just that, we got a shit ton of chilled meat. Now you might be like, oh, wait, chilled meat? That's not what we need, Grin. What are you talking about? Well, give me a minute. I don't need a minute. You can convert chilled meat to being raw meat pretty easily, so you're okay. Which is weird because it says chilled meat is actually better than raw meat. So it's weird that you actually have to make it like a different kind of meat in order to get a benefit out of it. Kind of weird, but anyways, you're going to jump off here into here. This is the next spot. Again, it's pretty easy to quickly farm all these. But right there, ladies and gentlemen, there's another 2 that you can absolutely get. Those are 2 more, what do you call it, chilled boar, basically. But again, the reason why you can do this it's so good to do this is because it has so much bang for your buck just taking them out. Again, it takes no time to get that much meat. It's absolutely lovely. And yes, boom, hit him with the fire thing, get a minute. Melee hit him, perfect. If you have better timing than me, I bet you can get it in the first hit. Oh, that's it, I fucked up. Fucked up a little bit. Another 2 chilled meat. I don't think we want to spawn yet because there's 2 more on the other side. Warm up for this. Bop, 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 bop. God damn it, I'm terrible. The worst. Actually, I would like to see. I wonder if they can despawn. Regardless, they it takes a long time for them to actually despawn. I don't want to fight you. Get away from me. Get away from me. If it starts auto-locking on you, I'll be pissed. So that's another 2, super easy. And then of course there's a couple more down here, but those ones are even easier to get because you can just jump down, fly right down, super easy peasy. Kettlebell mug of the sitting. Mug of the sitting that happens to be a kettlebell, god damn it. Also, that poor thing over there. Just like he's waiting. It's like I'm cold. I just want a friend. Huh. Well, not today. Not today, alright? Work on yourself, how about that? I do believe there's 2 here as well. There's one here, and I think there's one further in. But I could be wrong. But again, the thing that makes this crazy is that they respawn every day. Now, most beasts do that as well. But it's the fact that they're just right here. And they're kind of like super easy to get. Like the problem with boar is that they're a pain to actually attain. Also, listen, you who just shot an arrow at me. Knock it off. You're nonsense. Also, if you happen to have an archer character, which we might want to equip because we're about to go do the next part of this video, which is actually farming everything else. Of course, I'm in combat, so I can't do it. Now, there is something to note when it comes to like hunting creatures like this and etc. Please tell me I have some health. Good. It's not about the charge attack, it's just about shooting the shit out of them. So it's better to like aim with one and then quickly pivot to the other and just spam. Just spam and hope to God that it hits. Also, we're about to get really too warm. Perfect timing, nailed it, first hit. So, we just got a good amount of meat, but let's just double check that. So let's go back to Mondstadt, and you guys can see, this is kind of weird actually. Again, it says the meat's like high quality meat from like a boar that's super rare and just tender more meat and all that weird stuff. It's not. It's actually worse than raw meat because the way it works. See right here. Rare fresh meat. But yet no recipe in the game utilizes such a, like what do you call it, very rare and like perfect meat. Instead it wants raw meat for everything. So, but anyways, the reason why you want that meat is because if you go over here, you can actually make raw meat for 1. I'm so happy that it doesn't require you to do 2. So you just got a shit ton of meat in 1 day, and then you can convert all of this to actual raw meat that can be used for all of your recipes, i.e. stuff like, where is it? Stuff like this, which again is such an easy, cheap healing resource. In fact, if you want to pivot all of your other resources to get not meat, but instead those little acorn things, then ideal. Then you'll have way more acorns and you can quickly make way more raw meat. But that is one way to get a shit ton of meat. As of the update into Dragonspine, this is probably the best bang for your buck that you can get. Also, by the way, things like ham, you require a ton of raw meat to get, and all that stuff. Now, again, we're going to start with the most bang for your buck kind of thing ever. So we're going to go and get a ton of raw meat, not fresh meat or frozen meat or chilled meat is what it's called. We're going to go do this other thing that you should do every day. This one is so valuable, and again, it's super cheap. It's not as expensive as you think. It's totally worth it anyway. So again, this sucks. Whenever I come here, it's always nighttime. So we're gonna go ahead and wait. And again, if you happen to have a healer, then great. But if you get really unlucky with rolls and all you have is Barbara, and that means you have to fight the water boss, which is the most broken, incredibly hard boss in the game compared to everything else, if you don't have a cryo carrier, then yeah, you may just want to pivot on food, and that's totally cool. Also, maybe you're doing a domain and you're pinched for time and you're like, fuck it, my healer isn't healing enough, or my DPS is about to go down. If I switch off my DPS, I'll lose the domain. So you need food. So of course you'll pop some food. And of course that means you'll dwindle your resources. But anyways, you'll talk to Draft, not this guy beside him. Believe it or not, you'll constantly ping to him when you're trying to talk to him. You go to his inventory. He sells you 10 meats for a measly 24,000 mora. Completely worth it. You can also buy all of these bird eggs. You can also buy all of the chicken legs, basically. Boom. And that you can do every single day. It resets every 11 hours. Absolutely worth it. Again, I barely use these legs specifically, but if you ever did need to craft stuff in the future, I'd have it. Perfect. Awesome. So after you're done doing that, I apologize. I profusely apologize for what's about to take place. You are going to have to grind food. Disgusting. Pathetic. Awful. But if, again, honestly, you shouldn't need to. You shouldn't need to do this unless you're really, like, you don't have enough damage, or you're just getting your head kicked in. In that case, sure, maybe this is just a bad part in your life and you're going to get over the hoop, over the hill. Makes sense. Anyways, this part sucks because you're going to have to individually hunt down boars. Now, there are some boar locations that are a big big pain in the ass to farm. Now, with that being said, I'm only going to show you the boar locations that are the most bang for your buck, you actually worth you going and doing this. And yes, I'll cut out all the ones where I'm like, no, I marked this, but it's only one boar here. F this. Totally not worth it. There is one location that you probably should farm first, again, just in the... Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just go in the likelihood of if you're super pinched for time, you can only do these 3 things. Maybe you have more time, you can do these 4 things. Maybe you have even more time, you can do these 5 things. Maybe we should do that. And so there are some boars right below here, if I'm not mistaken, but you don't want to spook them. Also, if you're a soulless human being, you could have killed that little bird right there. Right there. Oh my goodness. There's 2. I'll mark this on the map or show you guys where it is in a hot minute. But I also don't... There's 3. Oh my god, there's so many. I think I got 3. Maybe not. Maybe not 3. Oh my god, there's so many. No! I remember this place now. Oh, I was wondering where like the big like, dude, if there's ever a character that if they ever release hit scan, like guns, basically guns are hit scan unless of like the whole tracking an enemy, then you're gonna be able to get so much meat so fucking quickly. But this is the best bang for your buck outside of the 2 that I just showed you. I'm just buying meat from Springvale, and then the other one actually being killing the Boar King, again being super worth it. But this right here is the other biggest bang for your buck. Just spawn here, go left, there's a ton there. But the problem is that you have to really be good at predicting them, and also the boars are wily. But if they ever do release in the future a character that is hit scan, then that's massive, that's huge. So that's a super good spot to actually get raw meats, and really good for bang for your buck, all that stuff. Now, the other spot that is really good is this spot right here. This is the other one that I think is worth you doing, and honestly these 2 I probably would stop at, because there's a bunch of other locations that just seem terrible. Like, you go to this one location, you hoof it up a mountain, there's 1 boar. You gotta kill that 1 boar. Or worse, you gotta like memorize this complicated path of jumping and bobbing and weaving and all that stuff, and it just seems like a nightmare. Whereas I feel like if you just were to drop the mora on the eggs and the chicken wings, then you're good. But anyways, you're gonna spawn in from this thing, you're gonna be aiming this way, that's perfect. You're gonna fly down, there is always a boar right in the crease of this. He'll spawn in, there he is. Now, we're gonna wait. Oh, there is one more location that you should do. Absolutely. Yeah, so we're gonna grab this, 2 meats, easy, done, fast. Now, if you go down this river, there's 2 more right over there. They'll spawn in, boom, look at it. Clockwork, all that. Now, again, you know how this goes. We aim, we spam at the other one. We spam at the other one, okay? You get the first hit off, and then you just recklessly shoot all around him because he could gun it in any direction. By the way, I'm on controller. Second thing, I don't know why I brought that up. Maybe it's a little bit impressive me aiming as well as I am on controller. But anyways, this is not a shooter of any game. But anyways, here we go. The other one is right up here. These ones are actually harder to see. It's not on this one, it's at the second one. You guys can actually see it right there. Look at him go. We pop this person right there. Boom, we got him. You barely see him, it's a little harder to see. Hopefully if you have lower graphical quality, you'll be able to find it easier. You can fight that thing if you want. The other one is up top here. Again, super worth it. I get a bunch of meat in a small radius. Absolutely solid. Boom, knock him dead. Grab these 2 meats, that's done. Super fast. The other one that is pretty good to get, but you probably should be quick as a whip if you're gonna do this one, it's right here. But as soon as you spawn into this location, you're going to get bombarded with boar. In fact, you probably get smacked by a boar. There's 3 here, but again, the likelihood of you hitting them, you'll need to be like, again, we're hunting fucking boar like peasants, but to summon forth quick reaction skills is a joke. Did he hit me? He hit me. I got him. I'm not sure if I got him. There's another one that left. Well, I think I got the other guy. But anyways, there's 3, but I don't know where it went. utterly lost. If there was usually 3, I think he dipped as soon as I killed the other one. Anyways, unfortunate. But we did get these 2 meats. Again, super fast, easy. Again, at this point, you should have enough. If you do this every day, you're going to be overwhelmed with raw meat and such. And again, as long as you pivot your expeditions for food to get the acorns, you should be able to make that other resource so quickly and constantly find yourself at full health. Yeah, Anyways, why can I not navigate? Jeez, great. This one maybe is best. Let's see. I don't remember what that one was. Okay, so here I think is also pretty good. Yeah, see right here we got 3. 1, 2, 3 right there. I hope these other ones don't kill me. Or like run off, sorry.
Oh, I should have got that one. I call bullshit.
He's still in existence? I was about to say, that's some bullshit. He should have despawned. I'm happy that the game didn't do that to me, but still. Anyways, we got 2 there. Again, that one's pretty worth it just because it's right here. So if you want to mark this one, that one's, again, anything that's fast, you can quickly teleport, get your profit, and then leave. That's not bad doing. So yes, this is a spawn point. Gonna go right down here. It's right here in this little kind of cliff edge. Yeah, jump down there. Again, it'll take some time for enemies to spawn in. So don't be fooled if you're like looking down there, there's nothing. Just wait for yourself to get low enough, and then they'll pop in. So yes, this is another great place to actually get the raw meats. Again, I am not showing you guys the nitty gritty ones, which there are some across Mondstadt that are just, in my opinion, a pain to get. There's also this one. This one is more broad. This one actually, if you're really meticulous, you can actually find squirrels, birds, and shit, and fuck them up with your arrows and actually profit. I just don't really, like, see there's a bunny right there. You can kill the poor little bunny, feel like a monster, and also there's a butterfly. Might as well try to grab that. I mean, the bunny did give you 2 meat. It's not bad, actually. Regardless, there's a boar right up here, but I think there's multiple boars, so maybe be careful. Also, don't try to, like, see, there's 2 boars. There's 2 boars. Okay, this has changed from being, like, nothing to something. Look at that. Boom. I went for the longer shot first. I got 2 meats. Solid. I do think I fucked up, though. I think there are, like, birds that you could have waited and aim shot and got them. Like that. I hit something. Don't know what that was. Regardless, another 2 meat. Profit. Immense profit. Right there, I think there's a butterfly, but there's also this. That's an enemy, never mind. I'm crazy. But yes, just this valley, pretty worth it. Just go straight down, so as soon as you spawn in here, just walk this way. So put a marker right there. That's where the money of most of your meat's gonna be found. But yes, there is some here. If you want to mark this one, you can. I just find it's not as useful. Again, there are a couple spots where you're like, okay, yeah, it's super easy to go and get and do, and it's totally worth it. Other ones, not so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been us doing a food farm. Again, there are farms out there, and you can Google it. I've seen them. I've seen Reddit threads of people taking screenshots and showing you where everything. It's just super out the way, and I don't think it's necessary. Again, I mentioned this in the video of us farming for the new ore, silver ore, but if you are utilizing the expedition system, you probably won't need any help with this. You probably will always find yourself having a copious amount of food. But if you were in my situation where you don't have a healer, or maybe you were doing a domain, you had to quickly use some healing and you couldn't switch to your healer because it was on cooldown or whatever, or maybe you want to make food with attack bonuses. In that case, I can't really help you. I only know the food that really gives you the other things. Although raw meat is a foundation for almost every other kind of food. So yes, it's an insanely good value to actually have raw meat. So it's immensely good to get in the habit of farming for raw meat and all these kinds of things. But again, I don't think you need to farm for the other things. Like again, my like food of choice has been this. It's a blue tier. Hopefully down the line, they'll release a kind of food that you can attain that actually utilizes the chilled meat. The chilled meat, which is supposed to be like super duper rare and like flashy. Hopefully they introduce something that we can actually use that in a recipe with something else that's not excessive to actually attain. Like if they can make one like this that only requires 2 resources that are pretty easy to get, but it's a hard blueprint to attain. Maybe you get it from completing like the new region's town's reputation to the max point, something like that. Just like the ultimate healing item that's pretty cheap to make and could be for people who don't want to run a healer on their team. Unless they're in Spiral Abyss, but Spiral Abyss is something else entirely. But again, if you were to just pivot all of your resources to getting that special walnut-looking thing, and you just farmed the meat, you'd be able to make unlimited versions of that. Again, there's a ton of locations that you can actually do that with. In fact, I probably will start doing that in the future, because I think I have the way to get raw meat is now like trivialized. It's super easy, just with the idea of the new region having such a good yield of chilled meat, which you can convert easily into raw meat. Yeah, this one. So I basically take away one of my like meat farms and just go with this. I think that would be pretty lucrative. But like I said, thank you so much for suffering with me, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. Again, a quick overview just in case we just want to round things off, in case you forget. Basically, if you want to do the bare minimum every single day, just teleport to here, go fight the Boar King, and get the other things. That's how you fight him. You have to defrost the other boars, by the way, in order to actually fight him. So get that. That's a solid bit of chilled meat, which again you can convert to raw meat. So it's 1-to-1. If you have a lot of chilled meat, you have a lot of raw meat. Anyways, then the second best bang for your buck is to go to Springvale, buy all of the other types of meat, the raw meat, the chicken breast, and of course the eggs. You can buy that every 11 hours, like it said. Fantastic, the daily reset. By the way, the Boar King is also a daily reset, so if you do this right before you log off, you'll be always set for food. Now, the other two locations that are immensely amazing for bang for your buck is this one right here for raw meat. Teleport to this, run over here, try to get as many boars as you can. There are like 8 here or something crazy. Very doubtful that you'll be able to kill all of them, because as soon as you kill one, the others panic and run off and despawn. I really hope they fix that to where they just wouldn't despawn. It'd be fine to hunt them even if they ran away. But unfortunately, if you spook them, they despawn immediately, which sucks. Hopefully they tweak that in the game to where they don't do that, because you can actually chase them down and hunt them, and rather than it just be some sort of weird, like they phase off into the existence like some sort of weird ghost. So yes, that's amazing. That one is a super good thing. Mark it on your map. It's just a lot of meat for pretty quickly. Also, it's right beside a spawn point. Nothing can go wrong there. The other one of high value is, of course, in Quincy Village. Spawn here, fly down, smack the boar in the face, go over here, kill the 2 boar by the shore, climb up, kill these 2 boar. That's a lot of meat really fast. Again, they're right by the point. And then the other one that's a lot of bang for your buck, but I don't have it marked because you see that? It'll constantly, like if I mark it, the little arrow will think I mean that when I try to spawn here, so it's just a pain. But if you want to mark it as a food icon, you can. But spawn here, kill the 2 boar, that's done super fast again, and that's kind of it. Now we're starting to get into the ones that take a little bit more time, like the one over here that I showed you. This one you have to jump down here, hit 2 or 3 of them. It's kind of fast, but you still have to hover down. It can take a little bit of time. And then, of course, the other one I showed you just then, this whole valley, this one, not bad, but again, you have to actually walk up here, and again, it's not that bad, especially if you were just to crank these out and not have to show people. You could get this done really fast. But yes, again, if you just want to do the bare minimum, Springvale, Boar King, and maybe this one, and then be done. And maybe this one. These 2. Spawn here, get that one. Spawn here, get those. That's the fastest bang for your buck, and you'll always have a crazy amount of meat. And again, all of this respawns in a day. So crazy. Love that. Again, for me, it's kind of weird because I got a healer, so now I don't really need food as much. But with that being said, though, if I just keep doing this, I'll always have food on hand, and I won't ever feel like I'll need to quickly pivot and do that. Or maybe I can go back to running a pure DPS build again, and have Zhongli just protect me with his shield. That's getting buffed in the future. Nuts. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully this helped in some regards. Sorry if I rambled too much. Forgive me. Hopefully you guys did enjoy your time, though. Thank you again, and of course, goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day as well. Bye.